All right, hey guys, how's it going? So this is Anime Love, and we're gonna make a short video where we talk a little bit about verses. One thing I wanted to talk about was Hollow, right? A couple of things in regards to Hollow. I'm not sure where I got this information from. I believe I got it from Mastar after he covered chapters 1 and 2, but I'm pretty sure somewhere in there he had stated that Hollow is supposed to be the savior for humanity. Now, maybe that's like written on the back of like chapter or volume 1 or so on and so forth, but I think that's supposed to be the conclusion or like the whole, ordeal with this story is ultimately Hollow is going to gain some kind of ultimate power, and he's going to be able to save humanity from, every one of the 13 enemies. Okay, so that's really interesting because I mean we got some really powerful enemies, as we can see, from God to Genbok to the Great Demon King. So it's like Hollow, if this is true, Hollow's gonna have to really level up, So I'm just super excited for that. Now, my question for that is, since he has to level up so freaking much, what is the motivation behind this level up, right? Because we saw a little bit of that in chapter 2, okay? Captain Kayla was on the verge of being killed by Captain Kiva of the Demon Force, and he had thrown that armored truck towards her, and she was about to be crushed. And I don't know if it was because Hollow wanted to save Captain Kayla because, I don't know, she was beautiful or whatnot, or did Hollow just want to save her so badly, due to, his frustrations of trying to save humanity against the demons but being unable to. His motivation was very unclear. Now, one thing that I have noticed with the Author One stories is, although there are beautiful women present and involved in various things, there really is no there's really no love connections that he has applied to his stories that has motivated his characters to become stronger, which I think is a very untapped. I get it. It's kind of cliche, right? It is. However, it's very true, in a lot of ways. Even when it comes to real life, love can be the motivation to make people do incredible things to save the people that they love. You hear incredible stories all the time. Sometimes you see things. Sometimes you've experienced something yourself where, wanting to show someone or take care of someone has given you the strength that you didn't know you had, right? So I'm very curious, so far we have Captain Kayla, we have the beautiful women from Celestia, we got women from Sorceria, all the worlds. There's women from there. And it's like, is Hollow going to fall in love with one of these women? And is he going to gain strength through trying to save one of them? And not only that, how deep would the Author One go with this love connection? It doesn't really seem like in his stories, it really doesn't seem like he likes to elaborate on, a love connection. Like, for example, right? Take Chainsaw Man. That guy is constantly trying to get laid. He's constantly trying to see some tits, and honestly, I respect it. And I really like that aspect of Chainsaw Man. I'm not the craziest fan of Chainsaw Man, but that aspect of it I do like because, as a man, that's a lot of our motivations. A lot of the times guys want to be successful in life because they want to impress a chick that they really like so they can be with her, right? Like, chicks respect money. They respect, nice things, So, love is a strong motivator. Now, of course, in this story, money and stuff like that isn't a factor, but becoming strong and having the ability to take care of people would be Hollow's equivalent to like your modern day money, cars, and clothes, right? That's what matters. That's what's going to show a woman, wow, he can take care of me, or, whatever, make him fall in love with you or whatever. So it's like, is he going to elaborate on that? Is Captain Kayla or someone from another world going to fall in love with Hollow when they see what he's accomplished to save them? Me personally, bro, I would like to see that. I would like to see a strong love connection between, the main character Hollow as well as some chick. If you want to throw a little bit of that, with Ario, because I know Ario was really in love with Captain Kayla at one point, or, really likes her or whatever. That's fine. Who knows? Maybe that's because Hollow and Ario are so close. Maybe that's what kind of drives a wedge between them, is both of them liking Captain Kayla, and she kind of likes both of them. So, that would be interesting to see how that would unfold, So I think the author one would do justice to the story if he applied that to it as well. Now, look, man, I've never written a great story in my life. So, who am I to say what the author one should do? All I'm saying is as a consumer, I would like to finally see in one of his stories a love connection. And why not be one of the best stories that he's put out so far, being Versus? He's got plenty of characters in which he can do it. And again, I think love is a strong motivator. I'm not saying we got to make it that simplified. We don't got to make it super cliche or corny, but let's apply it in a very sophisticated way to where it's like, man, this is really, almost like you're watching a soap opera. Like, let's apply that to the story as well. And it's like, I think, man, if all these action scenes plus a love connection that the author one has never applied to anything else, even in One Punch Man. Yeah, it seems like Fubuki may like Saitama or even Tatsumaki, or maybe one of them like Genos or something like that, but he still hasn't done anything with that. And I don't think he plans to. And that's fine. But, let's apply that to Versus, because I think that would really make it even better. That's just me. So you guys let me know what you think in the comments. Do you guys think that a love connection should be applied to this story? Do you think that a love connection would be a understandable motivator that would allow Hollow to gain more strength and power through his feelings for someone in his desire to keep them alive and to keep them safe? You guys let me know in the comments what you think. Or again, would that be too cliche? Is that too corny? Do you think that would ruin the story? I would like to hear your guys' comments about it. But yeah, I just thought about that, man. You guys always hear me commenting about how I think some of the women in the story, in the illustrations are really attractive, and stuff. So I thought about that. I'm like, man, to be real, it's like, okay, like, are any of these dudes gonna like try to like get with them? Because it's like, you got beautiful women, the end of the world is coming, like, most of the time, sex is on people's mind. Like, man, like, I'm trying to get some before the world ends, before I get killed. Like, come on, let's keep it a little realistic. Let's get it let's make it a little juicy. I think that would be cool. All right, well, that's it, man. That's all I wanted to talk about, guys. Again, we've only got so many chapters out right now. And of course, everybody's talking about the same stuff, who's the strongest out of the 13 enemies? Who's the weakest? What do you think is going to happen in the next chapter? It kind of gets a little redundant. And I don't really like to talk about the same things over and over and stuff. So I thought I'd just throw you guys a cliffhanger and talk about that. I think it's a really cool concept to throw in the mix. Let's make it really graphic. Let's make it like Chainsaw Man graphic, or maybe even Dan to Dan graphic, because I'm pretty sure there's some scenes in Dan to Dan where, you know, some stuff is getting shown. And, you know, bro, I wouldn't mind that, bro. You know, we're all grown adults here, man. You know, we all know about this and about that, man. Like, it's not gonna scare me away from the manga if I see, you know, a scene where it's like, whoa, that's some real adult shit right there. Like, hey, I'm cool with it, you know? So you guys let me know what you think. I've rambled on long enough. I will see you guys later. We'll be getting the new chapter soon, like in 15 days or so, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe even less, like 13 days. Excited for that. I just ordered my new chapter, or excuse me, my new volume of Verses. It will be here tomorrow. It'll be volume 3. I'm very excited for that. Keep supporting the manga. Make sure you buy your copy. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.